All right, guys, it's Thursday, February 5th, and we're back with another weather update for this potential wintry mess across the Northeast. I'm meteorologist Michael Priante, and I'm joined with today by meteorologist Mike Mihalik. Mike, it's been a tricky couple of days forecasting, and it will probably still be a tricky forecast going forward.
It's been a tough one with with these different precipitation types that we have to deal with, but you know, we still think we do have some wintry mix, and it might be poorly timed for the morning commute tomorrow. So we'll get into that, but it does look like it's mostly over the interior. But we'll go through that here in a couple seconds. Here.
Right. So let's just take a look here, and we'll get you through what we're seeing with the models. So the NAM, we start off here. This is Wednesday afternoon. So this afternoon, pretty dry. Notice moisture is filling in from the south. It gets into possibly, Maryland by about 7, 8 o'clock. And then you can see some of the little pockets of mixing going on.
Yeah, a little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain, but it's mainly northwest of the I-95 corridor from Baltimore to D.C. Northwest of there is where we expect some icing, talking about Hagerstown, talking about up towards Harrisburg, Pennsylvania into the night, and then into the Lehigh Valley. Heading into later at night.
And we go forward here into Thursday morning. This is after midnight. It's getting into Connecticut and then up into Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean, could be a good shot of sleet heading into the Hudson Valley, into Connecticut on the front side of the storm. Even a little bit of snow into Massachusetts and New Hampshire. But all of this quickly mixes over. As we get warmer air riding in over the colder air at the surface.
Yeah.
So, going to be a situation where we have the mix over to rain for sure with this storm.
Yeah, so if we look at temperatures, because so basically, the models are printing out here rain, and it's printing out, sleet, snow, sleet, and freezing rain for inland areas too. So the surface, if we go Thursday morning, it's pretty cold when it starts. It's like, below 32 even in Boston. But then as we go into the morning, it starts to ride up and we're above freezing, still cold interior, still warming, but then it gets trapped. So you notice these little blues don't really budge much. That's that cold air that gets trapped in the hills. And as everyone goes over to rain, some of these areas are probably going to continue to freezing rain. It could be an icy, I don't want to say ice storm, but, definitely be a lot of ice up there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, certainly coatings of ice, maybe a tenth or two of ice, something like that. I don't know if it's going to be an all-out ice storm for anybody, really, but, that's kind of what we're looking with this system. A few trends lately, a little bit lighter, but we go through how this all goes down with this storm, too, and Mike's got a good shot here. These are 850 temperatures, about 3,000 feet or so. And you can see the warm air is just pushing in aloft. So that's why we're not seeing a whole lot of snow with this system. You get that warm air aloft. It's melting those snowflakes. And then as we get a little bit lower in the atmosphere,
it's pretty cold. This is the same amount of time. Notice that blue line is the freezing line. And it's pretty cold. This is about, what would you say, 1,000, 2,000, or 2,000 feet above. So it's not at the surface. The surface is warm. You're 34, 36, but you're still 32 to 30 or 32 to 28 degrees above. So it's frozen.
Yeah, absolutely. You got that layer of cold air below the warm air. So then those snowflakes that melt into raindrops can refreeze back into sleet pellets. So that's why we're seeing a lot of sleet with this storm rather than snow. And then, of course, over to freezing rain as even more air works in.
Right, and let's explain what this sort of situation is, because I think there's a process here that I want to go over. It's called cold air damming. Basically, you have warm air that rises aloft, is what Mike mentioned, and at the surface, you have some cold air that gets trapped here. So you have snow where the column all the way to the surf, or all the way up to that 850 millibar temperature is cold enough for snow. As you go further down the line, it turns sleet, more warm air gets introduced, and then at the surface where it's mostly warm so that not really any frozen precipitation can survive, you're freezing rain because your surface is 32 or below, so you freeze on contact, and then of course it's warm enough, you're just plain rain. So here's kind of a graphic. Warm air rides in, high pressure keeps the surface cold air at bay. We go forward here, the low pressure warms in.
And what happens there with that high pressure, it's going to force that air north, out of the north, in front of the Appalachian Mountains there. it kind of pushes that cold air down the spine there, right in front of it. So it kind of gets locked in there in front of those mountains. Can't really get budged out too quickly as the storm system moves in. And like we said, that warm air goes over aloft and forms a precip, and then you get that freezing rain scenario setting up for a lot of these areas across the interior.
Right, so here are the key takeaways to really get out of this video here. So a lot of this arrives late tonight in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. It's a wintry mix for the interior areas. Coast is rain, but everyone goes over to rain by Thursday morning. Up in New England, upstate New York is a little trickier because there's more cold air to work with, and it's probably a wintry mix longer. But the coast does, most places do go over to rain even in New England, but inland areas could be pretty icy, and there's also hints that maybe cold air returns Friday on the backside and keeps things icy, maybe some snow, but we'll have to see how this first part of the event goes before we can really dive into the second half of it. But it's a potential that could get a little icy as well.
Yeah, most likely we're talking about the northwestern side of this system into the interior across upstate New York, maybe into the hills of northwest Connecticut, into portions of interior New England,
right,
where we'll have to watch later on Friday.
Right. Well, that's all we have for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm meteorologist Michael Priante for WeatherWorks, your weather experts. Like and subscribe. We like it if you guys give us comments, give us feedback. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. We're on YouTube, here, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and professionally, if you want to know what we do for our clients here at WeatherWorks, we're at weatherworksinc.com, and we'll see you here next week.